try. Just in case, again. Episode 5. Now we are in Peru. We arrived here like maybe 2 weeks now. We have had quite a bit of things to do, and an experience that actually took quite of a time for renewing yourself, and but it was very good for to have this experience, so then we can I can share it with you, so you would have a little bit of consciousness about how important it is to pick the right shaman, if they call themselves shaman, and if it's facilitator, then it's up to your own choice, because there's a big difference. Shaman would be someone that knows about plants, have spirit allies, friends that would help him in the fight of the light to come through to you, enlightenment, and for soul healing. Also, shaman would be also somebody based on a community. A facilitator would also be someone having a community, but it's more like a human that have had quite many experiences and feels prepared enough to dosify the amount of, in this case, for example, ayahuasca, for other people without really knowing, without being able to see. Then, like I said, if you go to a facilitator, it's more up to your own choice. But it's good that we could know that this difference existed officially, that it was spoken out, and that it's not the same value, but almost, because at the end you just go for the experience. Many people just go for the experience, but some others goes for healing. Some others have a deep trauma, and some others want to go deep into, like themselves or into the spiritual, and then you need to have somebody to take care of the space. That would be a good shaman. So our experience happened because we had 2 friends that also are facilitators, and they recommended they were going to go, and they suggested us if we wanted to go too, and we said, well, why not? This guy has a known name here, and we thought it would be interesting to see such a big group. It was about 55 people, maybe 50 to 55 people, and yeah, the feeling was very cold, was nothing attached to nature. His place was a utopian, beautiful place where he seems like he has a community around, people that wants to belong to something, and they do good, I guess. I don't have a good feeling of this time, but because it didn't go well for me and for Petteri. We ended up having to run out of there with some clear spiritual messages of like, don't leave your face, because unluckily we live in a period where internet makes it very easy for magicians to put spells or to follow you, or just to put pressure on your energetic field, even make you sick. So it's kind of important to choose the right place. When the ceremony finished for us, I found a dead fish. So I thought that everything that my partner was living was a bit too exaggerated, and but I was going to respect his point of view and just live with him. But then I found a fish, dead fish. That would be a proper thing of black magic. The reason, I don't want to. I really don't want to speculate about it, but like it's something private in any case. But you have to be careful, because they want you to depend on them. That would be a bad shaman. I want you to need them and feel that you have to go always back to them to have such experience, or to, I don't know, like everything is not just love. And that is what I feel like these facilitators create. Like it's a good eyes opening, but there is so much more. And the spiritual world is exactly like the human world. We have interactions, they have interactions. We have bad feelings and good feelings, and they have them too. And that's why if there is a medium in between the spiritual world that is bringing just the dark, your experience afterwards, that is when all the teachings comes, may become kind of confusing, even dark. And the confusing part is that you think that all this comes from you, and then you may provoke yourself a bit more guilt, or even more complexes, or you just like you open up imagination for the thoughts to come in. And I discovered this weekend that the darkness works with thoughts. I mean, I didn't discover it, but I lived it 1000% first skin. We run out of there, and then we were persecuted by something spiritual. So if you have read Carlos Castaneda, that's very recommended for you to understand what we lived. And I feel like I've learned so much, and now I have experienced that I am not a weak person. I knew that, but sometimes it just becomes a theory, unless you have experienced something that would put you in the position where you see, I conquered that. I'm a strong person. Then you can like upgrade your goals, and yep. I lived what is to be a witch. You have to know those spells. I guess that it's more than the spell, it's the intention. Like I said before, when you mention those words, the intention gets brought in, and then whatever is attached to that intention, like in some cases, there is some angels, some saints that are attached to that, and they will come and help you, and they did. And I don't want to mention him. I don't want to mention his group, because that would only create this like geometrical spiral that goes against me. This all sounds nerdy, but I want people to have their own judgment and consciousness too. And I know that it's like having a kid or a son. You can't avoid them to do everything. You have to let them do the mistakes and crash, and then they would become stronger. We did. I had bad feelings right before the ceremony. My heart have never beaten so hard, and I thought that I was like feeling maybe some other people around, that they were also nervous, because I'm very sensitive to others. But this time it was me. It was my guts telling me that get the fuck out, probably. The mother ayahuasca was yellow. That was kind of a weird look, for a mother ayahuasca, and it was a bit easy to drink. There is some brews that are mixed up with some plants that maybe shouldn't be mixed, because all they do is to mess up with like deep waters of you. And for first timers, that in this case, in this place, it looked like 90% was first timers. It's not good to like dig everything at the same time. You can stir the whole glass right away. It has to be smooth. And it's important to have knowledge that everything you do has a consequence. And for example, taking yourself to one of these places might have the consequence of something getting attached to you, and then you have to have the strength enough to be able to, I don't know, push it away from you, or become invisible, and not let the thoughts attack you so much. I got very sick as well afterwards, stomach-wise, very, very sick. And the hardest part, I guess, was to assimilate if it was real or if it was all our imagination. But then there were so many things like that were playing around that made me be absolutely sure that this was happening. But then afterwards you give always the chance of like, maybe I was wrong. And then I talk with some friends, and then I got like 1020% more sure that this was real, because realities are realities, and some people are more aware, and some people have just more openness to let new things exist. Other people just don't want to believe that certain things can exist, and they think that everything is your own creation. And I think that's a halfway truth, because you do the first step of creating the illusion, but in the same time there's other people doing the same as you, and we interact with each other. And so there is a 50-50, you know. It's like you may perceive that people in the stores are very aggressive to you, but maybe you are very defensive too, you know. So you could easily just be a Buddha, you know. Also, big lesson: don't only listen to those that have a name. Like they had to do certain things and live certain experiences to become the person that they are, and it's very good to appreciate them. But there's so much knowledge in the average people, you know. Like, I think that every one of us has like a Buddha or a guru inside, and you don't have to listen to everything, be skeptic, but to be open. It's an intelligent posture, I think, because sometimes the things that hurts the most to hear actually are the truths. They're touching something in you. You wanna develop. You wanna grow. You better listen. You know, and to be a good listener, it means to not take a part in it, and not in the moment of being said. Be curious. Be purely interested, and then afterwards you analyze it and see how it feels for you in your guts. In your heart. That is also, it's a type of brain. And I don't know what more to say. I'm in Peru. It's been very beautiful. It's amazing how spiritual this whole valley is. It's a sacred valley that we are in right now. And Pisac is so charming, with these small little streets, like it would be like the old parts of cities, but with buildings that are very, very low, maybe like 1 or 2 floors. So it's very cute, and everybody's dressed up with their costumes, and there's market everywhere. And it's a bit of a rip-off sometimes, but I feel that sometimes it's worth it to go to the rip-off if it's beautiful, you know. Then you can also go to Cusco. We also went to Cusco. We went to the San Pedro market. It's very messy, but it's very cool too. And there I also met somebody that said that he was probably the only healer that I would ever have met in Peru. And I'm like, in that moment I just play along with him, because that makes him probably happy. I don't want him to get attached to that. And then afterwards I make my own my own thoughts about it, and of course, like, nobody that claims something like that is the person that claims something like that is probably the opposite. But anyways, and I had to throw smoke on my hands afterwards. I didn't want to grab his energy. I don't know. Life is a bliss. So many teachings. I feel much stronger. I have much more respect for darkness now, but not fear, because I know that at the end it's all energy, and they want your energy. Darkness feeds from energy, And to feed from energy would mean that you are giving it to them too. And for that you have to place fear inside for them to be able to reach you. So yeah, it's to be just an observer, to learn to be an observer without taking things in attachment to your soul. I've been thinking so much to how to say this and how to do this video, because I have been kind of I have let fear a bit drop over me, because it affected me so much inside, like all my intestine went out, you know, and I don't know, I became kind of like weak a whole night. I had, or like almost 24 hours of fever, and you know, when you get this like feeling that I'm not blaming that it was like him deciding that it was for me, but that brew did not make me stronger. It was not like a medicine, you know. It made me probably weaker, and then if some bacteria was around, it got in me much faster. And yeah, maybe I'm just more prepared. There's 2 upcoming experiences that I'm really looking forward to, because they are people that are recommended from someone that I highly look up to. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to those. Those I'm probably going to go with more trust and less skepticism, because from now on I will go with skepticism. It's not worth it to go to a ceremony just for going and you think like, no, this is my last opportunity. No, be that, you know, like it's best that you don't go. If you have a small feeling that no, just go, because afterwards you might have the repercussion you don't want to have. For me, I work with crystals so much that the crystals protect me when I'm there, when I have the altar and I'm energetically connected to them, you know. And stones, crystal. I will have another episode with crystal stones, because I'm learning quite good about them. And the crystals are pretty much like the medicines. For you to have a good, for example, mushroom trip, not trip, but ceremony, you need to have someone that knows how to lift up the spirit of the mushroom. This you can listen to Terence McKenna, for example. He has the same opinion. You have to know how to call him. It's the same with ayahuasca. That's why it's important, like, who is the one that's behind, who is the one that is taking the responsibility and moving the energy of the place. And the same with the stones. The crystals, you believe in them, if you have faith in them, they activate. And you can call for them for help, for protection, for guidance, for advice, for healing. But you have to naively and completely, truly believe in them. And they are there with you. I'm carrying so many now, but I'm so happy with them. They are truly protectors. They are truly helpers and connectors. And it's like I would say it's the galactic medicine, the crystals. And yeah, that's it. I think for now. We will have more episode this weekend. I will film something, and then the next week I have something as well. It's interesting. I'm so blessed because I know at least 2 extremely good shamans, or 3 actually, with the Petteris. And I'm extremely blessed with those shamans, those that knows about plants and move both the darkness out of the light and move the light around. And it's a blessing for me to have them as guidance too, because they have recommendations, and it's the best way. Listen to people. The people have had their own experiences, of course, but don't take the risk. It's your spirit. Your spirit affects your body, and if it affects your body, it also affects your head. And the spirit is kind of like the top of the 3 things that you should have aligned. And yep. Love and light. I love you.
He